We are so excited to be here in Auckland doing our very first pet sitting in New Zealand. But over the past week, we've actually taken a little bit of a break from pet sitting and spent our time vacationing in both the North and South Island.
So in this video, we'll share our top 9 activities over our 9-day vacation. These include tubing in a glowworm cave, touring the mountains, ziplining through the treetops, taking a boat ride in a fjord, relaxing in a hot pool, and soaking up the sun on some amazing beaches. So let's dig in.
We sold all of our things, got online jobs, and share all of our adventures as traveling pet-sitting digital nomads. We are Triple Digs. So after 3 months of pet sitting in Australia, we got on a plane and flew 3 hours to the South Island to the town of Queenstown. As we got closer, we were amazed by the stunning mountains, the rugged coastline, and the alpine lakes. So New Zealand is located about 1,000 miles southeast of Australia, and it consists of 2 main islands and over 700 smaller islands. It has active volcanoes, hot springs, caves, glacier lakes, valleys, fjords, long sandy beaches, and beautiful snow-capped mountains.
Queenstown is a resort town of 30,000 people that sits on Lake Wakatipu. It's known as the adventure capital of New Zealand and has activities such as bungee jumping, canyon swinging, whitewater rafting, jet boat riding, skydiving, parasailing, paragliding, and a whole lot more.
So for day 1, we arrived early in the afternoon on Friday in Queenstown, and we wasted no time by getting our rental car, checking into our Airbnb, and then immediately going to downtown Queenstown for activity number 1, which is ziplining.
There are a few ziplining options around Queenstown, but we chose Zip Trek because you get to zip through the treetops on Bob's Peak, which overlooks the town, the mountain range, and the lake. We took the Skyline gondola up to Bob's Peak and had some amazing views of Lake Wakatipu and the nearby mountain range called the Remarkables.
Our ziplining package included 6 zip lines. We had a group of 10 people and 2 staff with us. We ziplined from treetop to treetop, with each run being longer than the previous one. Many of the runs had spectacular views of the lake below and the mountains in the distance. To reach the final zipline platform, we hiked down a trail for about 20 minutes, then took the world's steepest zipline down to the base of the mountain and ended up near the gondola. Overall, we loved the thrill of ziplining among the treetops while taking in the scenic views.
For day 2 of our vacation, I spent 4 hours teaching English to kids in Japan from our Airbnb, but before I started, we made our way over to the Shotover River to check in for activity number 2, jet boating. These boats have dual V8 water jet engines with 700 horsepower and only need 4 inches of water to run. I told Matt I wanted to be in the front row, and what do you know? We were lucky enough to sit in the 2 seats next to the driver. The entire ride lasted about 20 minutes and it was so much fun. The Shotover River has a beautiful blue color. We passed under a bridge and sped through the narrow canyons just inches from the rock walls. Everybody was screaming and laughing the whole time. The boats can exceed 50 miles per hour and can turn on a dime. The best part was the 360 spins. For the rest of the day, I taught my classes and later we settled into the Airbnb by stocking up on some groceries, walking around the neighborhood, and watching a Batman movie.
Day 3 of our vacation was jam-packed with 3 different must-do activities. So it started in the morning by doing activity number 3, which is the Queenstown Hill Hike. This hike is a must-do activity when in Queenstown because it's a not too difficult hike that rewards you with panoramic views of the entire area. It's a 3-mile out and back trail with an elevation gain of about 1,300 feet. The trail is well maintained and there are plenty of places to rest, plus a few special surprises that you might find along the way. The view at the very top is simply stunning and unforgettable.
In the afternoon, we drove the rental car towards the southern end of Queenstown for activity number 4, car ride of the Remarkables. This mountain range can be seen from just about anywhere in Queenstown. The range sharply rises up to 7,600 feet and creates a stunning backdrop as it follows Lake Wakatipu. It has several ski fields, and we took the road up towards a lookout point to take in the views.
We finished the evening by returning to town, having dinner in the Airbnb, and making our way to activity number 5, the Onsen Hot Pools. This is a boutique spa that has private hot tub rooms with views of the Shotover River and the beautiful mountainside. We relaxed in our hot tub and enjoyed the peacefulness of the outdoors while watching the amazing sunset. Day 4 of our vacation was spent doing activity number 6, an all-day tour through Fiordland National Park and a boat ride through Milford Sound. We booked an all-day tour with a small shuttle van and made many stops on the way through Fiordland National Park. This is the largest national park in New Zealand and is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Along the way, we checked out so many waterfalls, streams, mountains, and valleys. Then we got on a boat to cruise Milford Sound, which was actually misnamed and is really a fjord. The difference being that a sound is formed by the flooding of a river valley, whereas a fjord is formed by a glacial valley.
This fjord is 10 miles long and has a max depth of 1,000 feet. It has towering mountain peaks with sheer walls that rise 3,000 to 4,000 feet from the water, containing rainforests and waterfalls. The fjord is home to fur seal colonies, penguins, and dolphins. The area receives 21 feet of rainfall a year, making it one of the wettest places on Earth. But we were lucky to go on a partly sunny day. Out of all the activities we did in New Zealand, Milford Sound would be at the top of the list. So if you ever visit New Zealand, definitely check it out.
So after 4 days of activities on the South Island of New Zealand, day 5 was spent as a travel day going to the North Island. We got on a plane and flew to Auckland, the largest city in New Zealand. There, we rented a car and drove 2.5 hours to the coastal city of Tauranga. Once we got there, we checked into our Airbnb and had dinner on the lovely waterfront.
Day 6 was spent doing activity number 7, exploring the Waitomo Glowworm Caves. Glowworms are a type of gnat that can produce bioluminescence in its larval stage. They can only be found in New Zealand. We spent 5 hours with a small group rappelling down into a dark cave, zip-lining, tubing, and climbing up waterfalls. It was very surreal and otherworldly. We floated on our tubes down the river, quietly observing the intense blue-green glow of these creatures on the cave ceiling and walls. It's hard to describe its uniqueness, so I'll just say it was a romantic way to spend Valentine's Day, and we'll never forget it.
Day 7 was spent doing activity number 8, enjoying the sandy beaches of New Zealand. So on this day, we hopped in the car and drove a little bit down the coast to Papamoa Beach. And we just hung out in the sun and relaxed for a couple of hours.
Day 8 was also a relaxing day spent at the beach walking around Mount Maunganui. It was an easy, flat 2-mile walk around the mountain. We had constant views of the Bay of Plenty. I love the water so much, so I had to get in. It was very refreshing on this warm day. We saw cruise ships, jet skiers, paragliders, and kayakers.
Day 9, our final day of the vacation, was spent by Monica teaching some English online and me doing activity number 9, which was hiking up Mount Maunganui. This hike is a 2.5-mile loop with an elevation gain of 700 feet. It was difficult at times due to some fairly steep sections and some stairs, but all the effort was well worth it as the view from the top was gorgeous, showing a 360-degree view that included the city, the Bay of Plenty, numerous beaches, and the harbor.
Well, that wraps up our vacation of the 9 activities we did in 9 days in New Zealand. We hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next dig.